Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard Sybilt Mental Pollution deck profile. This is one of the new decks from the Super Brave Detonation Booster Pack, focusing on Sybilt, the antagonist from the second season of the Cardfight Vanguard Divine series, with its Mental Pollution State ability. It has more of a setup for restand pressure, very similar to Dragon Empire, and then working with some of the other Dragon Empire units, and set up with the main order we run in the deck with Spirad and Sybilt, who once were, which was the friend of Sybilt from the series, and was his main reason for becoming corrupted after the death of his friend. But still, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck. For starters, we have the Energy Generator, with our starter being Unison Dragon Sybilt. When wrote upon, if you want second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Boy Aspiring to Join the Protectors, Spirad. When placed by riding from a unit with Sybilt and its card name, reveal a grade 3 card with Sybilt and its card name from the ride deck. Search your deck for up to one Spirad and Sybilt who we once were. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle the deck. So it's just a search for the given order that we run in the deck as well. The grade 2 being Distorted Heart Spirad. When this unit attacks, retire a rear guard. Reveal grade 3 card with Sybilt and its card name from the ride deck. Draw a card, and this unit gets +5. So just a 15k draw power for being able to have a retire of a rear guard as the needed cost, and revealing the grade 3 Sybilt, which we're also running in the ride deck as well for that setup. So before we get to the rest of the grade 3s, I figured we'd go over the order in the deck. That is Spirad and Sybilt, who we once were. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Spirad or Sybilt and its card name. Put this card into your soul. Choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets on Vanguard once per turn. When your unit without Sentinel is retired from rear guard, other than during the main phase, put this card into the hand until the end of turn. So it just gives you the added option for the setup of when the retired unit is retired. You'll get the added cost to then add it back into your hand to do so for that setup. So it works well with the order that we mentioned before. And then from the drop zone, when a grade 3 or greater unit with Sybilt and its card name stands by a card ability, bind this card, discard a card from your hand, and your Vanguard's drive becomes 1 until end of turn. So this is meant to go to the restand power of Sybilt, which we're also running 3 copies of. On the Vanguard circle once per turn, you can Soul Blast 1, choose up to the same number of your rear guards as your opponent's grade until the end of this turn. They become Mental Pollution State, and they get the auto rear guard ability at the end of the turn. Retire this unit, and it also gets +5,000 to Sybilt as well. And on the Vanguard circle, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard, counter +1. Choose one of your rear guards in the Mental Pollution State, or one of your Vanguards. Stand it, and until end of turn, its drive becomes 0, and it gets +10,000 power. And if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, choose a total of 2 instead. So then you can restand a rear guard and the Vanguard for 2 stands for that power. And then that's where the order comes in play, because then you can give Sybilt the additional drive to be able to attack with thanks to this also. And when a rear guard in the Mental Pollution State is retired during your end phase, draw a card. So then this will go off of the actual play of, at the end of the turn, retiring that unit, and then the added draw power that you can provide with this card also. So it's all set up meant to provide for those units that were placed in the Mental Pollution State. We're also running 4 copies of Desolate Flare Dragon. If you have a Unison Dragon Vanguard, which Sybilt is, this card gets all the following. When it's placed on rear guard, counter +1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 Unison Dragon or up to 1 normal order without Regalis piece from among them. Reveal it, put it in the hand, and shuffle the deck. If you do not reveal a card, draw a card. So you'll get a card regardless off of the counterblast, but most of the time you'll have to search for either your Sybilt or your order that you play in the deck. And on rear guard, when this unit attacks, this unit gets +5,000 until the end of that battle. Energy +3, choose one of your rear guards, and it gets, when this unit is retired from the rear guard, put this card into the hand until the end of turn, giving you the added setup for adding back those cards on top of the draw power that Sybilt will provide as well to that unit. So you have more and more recovery with all of the different units that you placed onto the rear guard circles. We're also running 4 copies of Dragritter Latila with this card. When it's placed on rear guard, other than by a unit's card ability, if you played a normal order this turn, Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, reveal it, call it to rear guard, and if it is a unit card, and put it in the hand if it's a normal order. So search power for additional normal orders for you to use, and when it attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, it gets +5,000 till the end of that battle for each of your opponent's open rear guards in the same column as this unit. So just added setup as well as search power, depending depending on what you use, since you're going to, obviously use the orders, since we are running the 4 of copy count, to have a good count to use in total. And 4 copies of Drag Ritter Dasonaz with this card when it's placed on rear guard from hand, other than by unit's card ability, or discard from hand while riding from the ride deck. Choose a card with Persona Ride from your ride deck. You may reveal it, or if you have a Vanguard with Persona Ride, still blast 1 and put a Persona Shield ticket into the hand. So just giving you a Persona Shield ticket on top of added defensive power, and when it attacks a grade 3 guard unit, it gets +5 till the end of that battle. And then the last of our grade 2s being the 3 copies of Demonic Dragon Berserker Baki. From the drop, when you play a normal order, if you have a Unison Dragon Vanguard, counterblast 1, call this card to rear guard. And on rear guard during your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, all of your Unison Dragon units get +5,000. Then if this unit's in the mental pollution state, it gets +5,000. So just one of the better targets to target for the mental pollution state, because it'll get the +5 power, and then the added ability to just counterblast 1 to call it to rear guard, which you want to be careful just with your counterblast for all of the setup that you do in the deck, but we do have some counter options for the setup as well, including the restand power, which we run in the grade 1 lineup, which is Drag Ritter Shock from the back row rear guard once per turn when your unit in the same column as this one stands. If this unit's in the mental pollution state, stand this unit. So it just gives you an additional booster as well for the unit that restood, and if this one was chosen as the mental pollution state, to then be able to restand again. And then you can use some of your other cards to give you the recycle power of the grade 1s that you may have in the mental pollution state to add back to hand. We're also running the 4 copies of Stealth Fiend Shenri. When this unit boosts, if your opponent has 1 or less rear guards, or you played an order this turn, it gets +5 till end of battle. And at the end of that turn, put this unit into the soul and draw a card. So it's actually at the end of the battle, not the end of the turn. So you'll get more soul buildup and then additional draw power after this card just provides a boost for just playing the order that turn as well, thanks to this card. The 1 copy of Red Jewel Beast Galnet for the added draw power or shield power, depending on if it's placed on the guard circle or on the rear guard circle unit, then recycling back some of your ride deck units. And also the 4 copies of the Twin Buckler Dragon, just as the Sentinel of choice to run in the deck also. For the trigger lineup, we're going with the 7 critical, just for the added restand power that Sybilt can provide, and then the additional drive it can get when you bind the order from the drop zone. The 4 copies of Flare Veil Dragon for additional draw power as well, for the 5k shield it can also provide when placed on the guard circle. And then lastly, the 4 copies of Stealth Dragon Shikidatan for the generic heal choice to run the deck, and Drag Veda for more restand power on top of the restand power that Sybilt can provide also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed a fun Dragon Empire deck that focuses once again on the villain's true form from the 2nd season of Divines, Sybilt. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.